With all of this tweet of Peter, I wanted to know like why Codex would be better, or like in what he say. He often said that Codex do more the task we ask and you read a lot of file. So is this magic or it's come from somewhere? Basically, you can use Proxyman, and here you can intercept any query, for example, to Entropic, but you can exactly do the same for the Codex CLI just here in order to exactly know what is the request when you send a message. Then when you take this request, you can basically add them inside a file, Claude Code Codex, where you have all the system prompts and the tool that have the model when you make a request. And this is the interesting part. When we compare these prompts and we ask any IA agent to compare what is the workflow they enforce, we can see that basically Codex has a mechanism that asks him to always must narrate exploration, plan, edit, how we need to do it. And with Claude Code, it's an explicit behavior via the enter plan mode tool and one rules. So the enforcement of the exploration phase is in Codex kind of mandatory because of what we have just here. So I make a little website about the intermediary update where he asks basically to make this exploration and a lot of different places. Here we can have the whole system prompt of Codex, and this system prompt will push the model to make more exploration. Precisely, we can see it just here with this. Before exploring, acknowledge request and explain first step. During exploration, explain context gathering and finding. After, sufficient context, substantial work, provide longer plan. This is the default behavior. Before file edit, explain what edits are being made. So this is how Codex is developed, and it's why by default Codex will do all of this. When with Claude Code, for instance, you will need to use this enter plan mode or even use custom workflow in order to have this. So what is my take about this? It's that the method of work is different using the both tool, because someone say switching back and forth between Opus 4.5 and Codex, if you give both unambiguous instruction on what to do, they will perform similarly. This is a lie. It's exactly the opposite, because Codex by default will make more work, will make more precise work, and this exploration phase is enforced by default. Where in Claude Code, if you doesn't use plan mode, and if the model doesn't find it useful to switch in plan mode, he will not perform similarly at all. So you will have a worst first noob experience using Claude Code. But as he say, over my months of using, you learn how to use Claude Code in the way. And when you switch to Codex, you doesn't have the same experience. So people like me can be confused, because when I switch to Codex, this behavior is by default. I doesn't need to enforce him, and I'm used to enforce this behavior. So you basically change your model of thinking. Also, Codex have a lot of defaults that I really not like. For example, this front-end task that explain why Codex makes such a shitty website in all my tests. Because when you use Codex, you have this prompt: typography, expressive, purposeful font, avoid default, color, clear visual direction, define CSS variable, no purple on white, no purple BA, no dark mode BA, motion, few meaningful animation, background, no flat single color, very tame, and a lot of things. This is sent every single time you make a prompt with Codex. What is the result of this? Is that, for example, I ask the model to, I ask Codex to create the exact same file that I make for anti-gravity, but for Codex, okay? I ask him exactly this. Make this file, but with your system prompt that you will leak to me. When Codex make this job, he make this. You see, animation, different font. Here it's the default font. Here he put me some different font. Then there is this primary color that it changed a lot of space, a lot of place, sorry. And he basically make a lot of freedom. Even the background color change when we scroll somehow. So Codex prompt will have more default. In Claude Code, this front-end default is not here at all. We can ask this prompt, so to see the difference. Claude Code has no front-end task section in its system prompt. If we check the JSON that I showed you before, we can see that Codex have rules about front-end, Claude Code doesn't have. IA slope rules, Claude Code doesn't have. Typography, Claude Code doesn't have. Color bias, Claude Code doesn't have. Motion guideline, and how user get it. Automatic, every session with Claude Code, they must install a skill or add them to Claude.md. So we have a fundamental difference where Codex, after I see, like, it's my take, it's my opinion, it's like more easy to use by default, when with Cursor, you need to make kind of more work or set up more thing in order to have a right workflow where Claude Code do the same as Codex, meaning exploring a lot. Because me, when I use Claude Code in my daily job, in any of these things, you can see that he run 3 sub-agents just here to explore. Then he make a full plan about everything he need to do. Then he make all the update and is just one-shotting this update. And I always do this workflow. He always explore, he always make his change, and he always kind of one-shot the thing I ask, because I'm used to use Claude Code the way Claude Code is intended to use, where I'm not used to use Codex the way Codex is intended to use. It's mean just ask him what to do and he will do it better. Finally, I really like this take of Arvid Kahl. I don't really understand dev who jump back and forth between LLM provider, Claude, Codex, Claude, Gemini, back to Codex, then Claude. What marginal improvement can be worth a massive context shift every single time? Pick one and wield, you won't have time to switch. This is the right truth. I'm so used to Claude Code. I have so many commands. I have so many process. I have my Apex command that is my workflow. I have my debug commands. I have my one-shot commands. I have a lot of commands. I have skill for making clean code. I have skill for review code. I have explore agents. If I write explore, we have explore fast, explore code base, explore code explorer. Like, I have a lot of agents. I have a lot of workflow. I have a lot of automation. I have the statue line that help me to read it fast. So I just create a massive edge for me of using Claude Code because my config is insane. Okay, my Claude Code config is insane. There is a lot of stuff. So inside this, basically I have my skill, my workflow, my agents, my statue line, my usage of tool, my usage of MCP, my shortcuts, and all my habits that is on Claude Code. So for me, the switching cost would mean that I come back to Codex with workflow that I will need to change, with mindset that I will need to change, and I will lose a lot of time. So for me, it's not worst. Then if you start from Codex, it's okay. But if you come back to Codex, then you create your workflow. Then you come back to Claude Code, and you start again with an empty workflow because maybe things change or you forget to use or you're not used to use. So you basically go back and forth between IA agents that basically most of the time will get you the same result, because when we compare the difficult feature, anyway, Claude Code and Codex is really close. We can have this rebench that I really enjoy, and we can see just here that Opus is 52% and here 51% for Codex. So it's really similar. If we take more, we can have like kind of the same. Claude Opus 55%. And GPT 5.2 is 57%. So we have kind of the same results. So this is really a fighting against a kind of propaganda that I can understand. I participate in this propaganda between one or the other tool. But the most important is don't switch, create your tool, because each of these tools have different prompts. I make this Smally website just here where you can compare the Codex and Claude Code, and we can see that there is a lot of different skill name, of different prompts, of different capabilities that we can have. The tool is different name that we have here. Some tool is the same, but a lot of tool about the plan is different. The skill can be the same if you use them the same way. The memory system is different, and a lot of stuff will make the result different. So if you spend your time switching one and the other, it's quite as useless. The best way you can do is just pick one, keep it. If you prefer this, Codex is kind of the easy partner that do what you want most of the time without fighting, and Claude Code is more a modular partner that can do easy stuff and difficult stuff. If you want to make him quick update, he will do quick update. If you want him to make long update, he will make long update, you know?